Hello guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another Gary Numan video. I've done one or two on my channel. I think I've done one with some of my sort of like vinyl collections and sort of stuff from him, and I've done one of my top 10 favourite albums of his. Today I'm going to go through my DVD collection of Gary Numan. I'm not a completist. I don't have everything, and before anybody comments down below, they do. Yes, a lot of my information might be wrong because I'm an old man and I've forgotten a lot of things over time, and I do. But these, I haven't got that many Gary Numan DVDs. I know I'm not a completist or anything like that. But these are my Gary Numan DVDs. But I have these because these are from pretty much tours that I've been on. Maybe one or two that I haven't. There's like, I think there's one Australian one in here. And there's one or two tours I've not been on, but most of these I've been to. And quite a few of these are ones that I've been at. So that's why I'm really happy to have these in my collection. And there's a couple I don't have. He's released the last one of his I bought was this one, which is in like Where the Sky Comes Down, which is I think Manchester Bridgewater. I'm sure it's somewhere like that. But it's this one is in a different box to the others because it's got the CDs and the DVD. Now, most of these DVDs I've got, I do have the CDs of them as well, because Gary had went through a phase of releasing pretty much a live album and DVD per tour at sort of like in the early sort of 2000s and stuff like that. So quite a few of these are from there, but I am missing a couple, and there's one I really want and I can't get anywhere, or when I do see it, it's stupid money. Which is regrettably means that I've missed out on that one, and it's a show I went to, so I'm gutted not to get it. And I believe it's called Obsession. It was recorded at Hammersmith Odeon, or Apollo as it was now called, but it was about, I don't know how many years ago, 9 years ago now, I think it was, something like that, maybe 8 years. It was like an anniversary show of his first show that he did at the Hammersmith, and it was like, wow, I'd love to get all that. So it must be 2019 to 2010, something like that. I can't remember. But he released a book. Is it Obsession or Possession? Something like that it's called. And he released like I think DVD and a CD, and I missed out on it. Unfortunately, they were available through his website, and I missed out. Then he released another one, which I also missed out on, which I think is at Brixton, and I think that might have been from his Ruin tour. I'm not sure. I'd say I'm not a completist, so don't need to correct me, but unless you can help me out with getting the ones that I need. But anyway, these are the ones that I've got. I'll go through them all. This first one I've got is called Jagged Live, from the Jagged tour. A really cool recording. It's also got an interview in a Dark Place video and the making of a Dark Place video. A lot of these were released on Dash, I believe. So yeah, that's cool. It's still got the sort of like little booklet with it, with the information. Again, I can't remember where this one was recorded. Oh yeah, this was that the I think this was one of the ones I went to. It's a Forum in Kentish Town. Yeah, I'm sure, because I went with my buddy Rob. We went to see that show. I've got the shirt from it somewhere as well. That's really cool. This is another one I went to, and this is the Telecon Live. This is not the original Telecon. This is, he did, Gary says he doesn't like doing tours of old albums. He's done a few, and this was one of them. And this again was at the Forum, I believe. So and that was released on CD, DVD. This was like the anniversary of that. So again, once again, it's got like the booklet and like this really cool little postcard that I've kept. So I try to keep more complete. That's cool. Telecom Live, yeah, that was like on his anniversary tour of Telecom. This next one is another one from The Pleasure Principle. Now this, me and my friend went to, and I believe you can see I was on this. I think this was at the Indigo, which is near the O2 Arena in London. So yeah, this was live there, and it was a really cool show. And again, it was The Pleasure Principle. He did that year, and in the following year, he did that tour. So that was cool. And I think the year before this, he did a replicas one. Actually, I think he did the replicas one on the same year. Can't remember. But yeah, this was at the Indigo. What year was that? Yeah, 2009. So that'd be 2010. So that works out about right, doesn't it? So that's cool. Now this next one's one of my favourite live ones of his, and it's called Hope's Bleed. It's more of a well produced. These were sort of, they're all really cool, but this one was like maybe had a bigger budget on this one, and it was quite well produced, and it's sort of like I think there was more cameras at this one, and it was like all different angles and stuff like this. Well, so were they, but not as big as this one. This was like a really cool one, and I can't remember what album this is touring. This was 2003 at Manchester, I believe. He did a few dates. I wasn't at this show, but I did go see him on that tour. I can't remember where I saw him. It might have been Hackney Empire. I can't remember, but yeah, that was from that tour. We've got a couple of obscure ones here now that he released called Fragments. This one is in Birmingham, and this one is in London. I went to the London show. So these are a couple of live ones called Fragments. I don't know if he released any more of these, but I picked two of these up. Birmingham and London, which was a bit strange because it's the same set list, but I wanted them anyway because I sort of like, at the time I was really into collecting live DVDs of Gary Numan. So there we go, that's the London and Birmingham show from the Fragment, which was 2004. So that's cool. Birmingham Academy. Was this Shepherd's Bush? London Shepherd's Bush, yeah. So that's at London Shepherd's Bush. Next one is a classic Gary Numan one from 1981, and it's Micro Music, which is cool. It's his farewell concert he did at Wembley. I went to one of the nights there, but he did two. I went to the second night. OMD supported him. And when I first bought this, it arrived like this with a tear, so I brought it again. So in fact I've got two copies of Micro Music. This one, the one with the rip cover, is the one that I use to watch. This one I don't tend to watch it, I just tend to keep it in its nice sort of condition. They're all in pristine condition, all my DVDs. I really look after them. They're all in no marks or scratches on them, especially Gary. So yeah, for some strange reason, because of the ripped cover, it's a bit of a Gary Numan cliche there, I end up buying two copies of Micro Music. So that's cool. Sadly out of print now. But to go back even further to 1979, I got the Touring Principle, which was like it's not a very long DVD, but it was from the original 1979 tour. The track listing on it is Me, I Disconnect From You, Me, We Are So Fragile, Every Day I Die, Conversations, Remember I Was Vapor, On Broadway, Down in the Park, My Shadow in Vain, Our Friends, Electric, and Tracks. Doesn't contain cars, which is a bit strange, but there we go. And that's a really cool set. It's got like this really cool little booklet there. Well, got it one way round. Or photographs from the show and some information about the show and the track listings. So yeah, that's cool to still have that. Really cool. 1979 touring principle, which is really cool. Now these next couple are generic ones made by, I think, Castle Rock, and this one's just called Gary Numan, which was live. I think it was from, I don't know if it's Metal Rhythm Tour, but it was something like that. It's not one of his better tours, and it's not a very long track listing. It's only 10 tracks on it. And and then he released another one not so long afterwards called Broadcasting Live, and it's exactly the same show. I didn't suss that out until it arrived, and I thought, this track listing looks really familiar. And it is, it's the same track listings from the same show. But yeah, it's still cool to have two different versions of it. But yeah, that was bizarre. That one, I prefer this one because it's got a bit more sort of cool packaging. I think it's a little bit more remastered than this one. This, like I said, these are both sort of really generic releases, because most of the others I've got from Gary Numan websites and stuff like that. So, but these were like the generic ones that I bought off the shelf. And so I bought that one, I think, in Zavvi when it was around. And this one I bought in HMV. I was just going through the, thought, Gary Numan, Broadcasting Live, what's that? And I saw that, I thought, wow, cool, I'll buy that. Got it home and I sussed out, oh, it's the same concert. But hey, but it's still cool though to have them both in it. Not many to go now. As we've seen the Pleasure Principle and the Telecon anniversary tours, this was from the Replicas tour, and I think this is in Manchester. I saw him in London. I think he also played at the Indigo on this one in London, but this one was recorded, I believe, at Manchester, which would have been the Apollo, I'd have thought, in Manchester. So that's cool. I like that. That's a really cool design. Good set. It's got the whole album plus a few sort of hits added on the encore. Every Day I Die, Prayer for the Unborn, and Cars. That's really cool. 1984 now with the Berserker. Not going to talk too much about Berserker today because I will be doing another Gary Numan video soon. I'll be doing the unboxing of the new box set of Berserker, which is coming out in a week's time, I believe. This is the Hammersmith show, which I went to. Unfortunately, it's not the whole show, but what I like about it is they dug out most of the tracks from Berserker and a couple of Warriors tracks mostly on there. There is a couple of hits on there, but I like that the way that they've just done it. Sadly, there's no booklet with this one. I like the way that they've done it with songs from that album, because the actual album of this, White Noise, has quite a lot of old hits on it too, which is really cool. So I'm glad that they just singled out the newer tracks on it, which is really cool. This was released by Sanctuary, and that's why it hasn't got a booklet. Next up is a bit of a, not obscurity, but a bit of a not a music one, if you like. It's the Pleasure Principle Tour 2009 DVD program. Now this came out the same time he released the Pleasure Principle anniversary show. He released this as well. I think it was like, I think that was 15 quid. This was about a tenner, or you can get them both for like 20 or something like that it was. So I bought the both. There's no booklet with it. It was just like an interview, I believe, of Gary talking about the history of 30 years of that album and sort of organisation of the tour and stuff like that. So that's a cool sort of like something different. So I've only got 3 more left. Next one is from Australia, so I wasn't at this show at all, and it's called Decoder, and this was recorded in Australia. I suppose it's difficult to tour places like Australia because of the cost of getting the band out there. This was also 2009, so we had the Pleasure Principle tour over here. And then obviously later in the year, Gary's gone over to Australia. He's toured over there, and he's done like a sort of like hits from not just the Pleasure Principle, but it's got stuff from like Rip, Pure, and things like that. So it's a general sort of Gary Numan show, not a sort of like anniversary show, but it was on the same year as that. And this was, I think, initially streamed online. And then it was such a good recording that it's I think Gary's obviously got the rights of it and was able to release it over here onto DVD for us fans here. It's got like a little sort of like picture and booklet information there with it as well, which is cool. And that's Decoder. So two more. This one's called Big Noise Transmission. I believe this was on, is it Dead Sun Rising? I think it was on the back of that. I think, which Dead Sun Rising, I think that's the name of the album. I probably got it wrong. Is a compilation of songs that, or mixes of songs that didn't make sort of other albums, like maybe songs from Jagged and things like that didn't get on the album, but Gary still liked to me pushed that out as another sort of album. And I think this was the sort of tour that went along with it. I went to the Hatfield University show on that one. There we go. And I believe this one was recorded at the Ritz in Manchester. Yeah, this was the Manchester show. He likes to do the Manchester show. Maybe the other one was the Ritz, not Apollo. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was recorded, I believe, on that tour, which was really cool. And last but not least, this one was released. I think Gary released like a sort of best of at the time, and he released a live CD and DVD called Machine Music, which is this one here. Again, I went to the Cambridge show. This one, yeah, Cambridge Junction, from this tour, and I've got to say that was the worst Gary Numan show I've been to. Here it is, a double disc here. Not because it's just 2 nights. Not because of the set or anything. It's the sound. The sound at Cambridge was dreadful. Let's have a look. I think this is over 2 nights. Yeah, this one's recorded at Brighton, and one again in Australia at Sydney. This has got the Australian version of the Pleasure Principle in its complete on the second disc. So they did do an anniversary show of it there, but in 2011. But he did the show there, and then we got the Machine Music live show from Brighton. So you got 2 concerts there, so that's really cool. And that, guys, is my Gary Numan DVD collection. I kind of wish that some of these would get another look. Like, wouldn't it be awesome to get like a Blu-ray of the Touring Principle, or no, the Micro Music with the Touring Principle in the extra features, like on Blu-ray? Wouldn't that be just amazing? It's so cool. I mean, in the next, I can see Gary releasing quite a few albums, re-releases over the next few months. He's got one coming out called Berserker, because he's looking at his Numa years. He's been talking about them a lot on his social media places and stuff, and we've got a release of Berserker coming up, which I will unbox for you guys if you're interested, if you're thinking about picking it up. And we'll have a little chinwag about Berserker. So I'm going to try and hold information off about that then. But it would be great to see some of these get like Blu-ray releases. Like, I know it's probably cost more, but now with technology being 4K, it would be good to see Gary in 4K. I mean, this does look stunning, this one here. And I still want the other 2 that I really want. Is it Obsession, guys? The one that was recorded at Hammersmith Apollo on its anniversary, and I'm sure that was 2019. I could be wrong. I'm sure it's like a 40th anniversary or something of Gary's first time playing at Hammersmith. I was there. I was sat upstairs on the balcony, and I missed out on buying that, and I'm absolutely gutted. But every time I see it, it's stupid prices. Now Gary on his website, he still has the book. There's like an art book of it, but I personally would like the actual DVD of the show. So if anyone's got any ideas if I can pick one up, I'm not going to get robbed blind for like. I've seen it going for silly money, like £80, things like that. I'm not paying that for a DVD. You know, I love you, Gary. I do, mate. Gary, if you ever see this, if you've got one still floating around in your warehouse, let me know. I know you'll never see this, but hey, who knows? Stranger things happen. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, and look out for the Berserker video. Cheers.